And welcome back. Mondays here on Pure Nebraska, we like to put the Alliance for the Future of Agriculture in the spotlight. AFAN is very interested in the expansion of livestock in Nebraska.
AFAN has connected us with someone who knows about the importance of livestock expansion in Nebraska and the importance of agriculture to the state in general. So join us now with more on that is Larry Sitzman, and thank you for being here today, Larry.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
So you are the former director for the Nebraska Department of Agriculture.
Correct.
And you're also retiring as the executive director for the Nebraska Pork Producers Association. Coming up here?
Yes.
Very soon, end of the year.
Very soon, January 4th.
Yeah, so you're very concerned about livestock and the changes in Nebraska. So what are you concerned most with?
Well, the thing that really bothers me is the state of Nebraska has to come to a realization that we're in a global economy. And we need more livestock production in this state because we're about as far west in the right place at the right time with the right crops and the right water supplies to meet the expanding middle class economies in the Asian markets, the Chinas, the Japans, the Thailands, the Vietnams. As those peoples increase their wealth, they want a higher food source, and their main source of food becomes meat, pork or beef. And we have such an excellent opportunity to meet that because of our interstates, our railroads going west. We have the corn, we have the soybeans, we have the water, and we have the land and farmers to provide that.
What are the challenges as far as like getting livestock, the livestock industry to expand and getting this to happen?
One of the main problems becomes we in Nebraska have become a little bit too affluent. I always like to use the word. And we don't want anything to bother us. And there's this constant fear that, oh, if a facility is located near me, I might have an occasional smell, or when they're spreading the nutrients and et cetera. And so there seems to be a constant battle of whether we want that close to us. Whereas if people would realize in the decades of the 1920s was the most hogs in the state of Nebraska ever.
Interesting, yeah.
I know when we think about livestock, we think about cattle. But could we use maybe other types of livestock, maybe more dairy cattle?
We would love to have more dairy cattle in the state. There are efforts to recruit more dairy cattle in the state. There have been AFAN personnel as well as dairy people go to national conventions, recruit dairy producers to come to the state, look at sites, talk to the community, talk to different people around, and I think we're going to be very successful in the near future for dairy expansion in the state. And with that will come processing facilities to process the milk.
Interesting, yeah. And Larry, what are the positives that you see? The positive changes that have happened when it comes to livestock?
The positives are just overwhelming. The ability to keep animals, in particular hogs, inside in rooms that are kept warmer than I keep my living room, compared to out in the cold like in the last few days. Baby pigs would have suffered. They'd have been frostbitten or possibly covered with mud and et cetera. In the summertime, the heats and et cetera. But the same way with our feedlots. They're modern. They have sprinkler systems to keep the dust down. They have shade to keep the cattle cooler. By and large, Nebraska producers of all of our livestock species want to give the most humane treatment they possibly can to all of our livestock in their production.
Excellent. All right. Well, Larry, we want to speak to you more. You're kind of a wealth of knowledge, basically, a walking encyclopedia of agriculture. And we want to talk to you after the break about your role as the State Department of Agriculture Executive Director and your view on agriculture as a whole. So you're going to stick around, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And we'll be right back here on Pure Nebraska, coming up right after this.